start the licensing process, or even start the programs while they're still in school, or looking into their interns or internships and graduation paths. And so, as Shanda and I were talking earlier, there's a lot of times students have interests in these careers, but they might not know what the licensing process would look like, or even know that there is a licensing process to take part in specific careers. And so what I want to do for you guys is talk a little bit about these licensing and careers, a little bit about some of the introduction programs, talk about the SIE program that I had alluded to before, a little bit about our courses, and then next steps as you consider these career paths and where you want to go. I'll typically keep this to about 15 to 20 minutes. And then if you have questions, I'll open it up, and open it up for question and answer at the end. So just hold on to your questions, or if you want to chat them in, I'll answer anything that I can at the end of the presentation, and try to get any questions answered that you have. And so to kind of kick things off and start the presentation, to talk a little bit about some of the careers and the licenses that are associated with them. So if you're considering careers in insurance, becoming an insurance agent, maybe you want to own your own agency, you want to be an independent agent and kind of work within the industry. If you want to become a financial advisor, there's financial advisors that work for career firms like Northwestern Mutual. There's also independent financial advisors that are licensed through different broker dealers. There's investment bankers, so investment bankers that work within banks that require securities licensing. If you want to become a stockbroker, work on Wall Street, some of those other career paths also require a securities licensing program. So, as I mentioned, we provide the insurance and securities licensing programs for all of these careers, for people that are starting these career paths and looking into becoming any of these specific careers, I should say. So I'll start off talking a little bit about the insurance side. So if you're considering going into the insurance portion, becoming an insurance agent, who would need insurance licensing? So obviously, if you want to become an independent agent, or if you want to become a career agent with a State Farm and Northwestern Mutual, you're going to need your life and health insurance, property and casualty, disability are typically the core insurance licensing programs that you would need. And each one of those are state specific. So our courses and our programs we offer all 50 states. So everyone's a little bit different within their requirements. You can do all of them from your home or work computer. You do need to test. And they are offering virtual testing opportunities now, given the current climate and situation. You can do proctored testing from home for all of these, even on the security side as well. But it is state specific with regards to the requirements. So some require more time. They might require a specific time commitment to get through the courses and program and then test out. And so they do vary, and I'd recommend looking into your specific state and what your state insurance requirements are. And if you're an insurance agent, you still can have the opportunity. So depending upon who you're working for and what you want to sell, you can still sell, you could sell specific products like mutual funds and annuities or retirement plans. And those would require securities licensing. And so that's specific Finra securities licensing programs that you would need to sell those specific products. And typically, even if you're an insurance agent or working in financial services, a lot of people tend to try to get to that point, because when you sell those product lines, you'll typically tend to be able to make more money based on your, whether you're set up on a commission fund or how you would do it. But selling more and higher level products will typically make you more money depending upon the firm that you're working within, if that makes sense. So those require the Finra and the securities licensing side to be able to sell those financial products. You might be asking, what is Finra and what am I talking about with Finra licensing? So Finra stands for Financial Industry Regulatory Authority. They're basically the governing body that oversees all buy, sell, trade, any products or services that would require, if you're going to invest in mutual funds and 401k plans, all of that type of stuff, you would need to be licensed with Finra to be able to buy, sell, or trade, or even offer advice on those offer advice to buy, sell, or trade those programs. All require a specific Finra license. And so again, Finra was developed by Congress to help protect American investors. So if you wanted to invest in the stock market and work with someone who is licensed, you do need to work with somebody who is FINRA licensed. And so not just anybody can go and buy, sell, and trade stocks and bonds. You have to be FINRA licensed in order to do it. So they make sure that you're tested, you're qualified. You have to hold your license with a broker dealer. So, for example, I'll go back to it. Northwestern Mutual is their own broker dealer, so your license would actually be held with Northwestern Mutual. Now, if you decide you're going to go work on your own or you're going to switch firms, that license actually follows you. So it'll go. You'll have to get it transferred from Northwestern Mutual and to whoever your new firm might be, and it would be licensed with them, because the broker dealers do have they have to manage you as well, and they have a sense of responsibility to what you're doing. So you can't just go out and create your own products and buy and sell whatever you want to. It does have to fall within what your broker dealer offers as well. So there's a lot that kind of goes into it, and I know you might have some questions to kind of on some of those specifics. So again, who needs some of these securities licenses? So specifically bankers, financial advisors, stockbrokers. Those would typically go down the Series 7. And I would definitely recommend you look into this if you have a specific idea of where you want to go with your careers and which licenses would kind of be tailored to that. So the Series 7 is a little bit more investment focused. It's the general securities representative, and it can actually do more with your Series 7 as far as what you can buy, sell, and trade. The Series 6 is a little bit more limited as far as what you can buy and sell. So there tends to be more overlap with the Series 6 and insurance agents, just as far as what they sell and what the insurance products are available to sell, whereas the Series 7 tends to be a little bit more of the bigger banks and broker dealers like the Fidelities, the Wells Fargos, even the Northwestern Mutuals, that are more investment focused than some of like the State Farms, the insurance focus that you can still sell these products through having your securities license. So there is a difference there in what you can do and can't do and that would be the next step. Once you've completed your SIE, would be to take the path of where you're going to go with either your Series 6 or 7, and then the NASA exams, which would be the Series 63, 65, 66. So to continue moving forward, as I already referenced, the SIE course. So the Securities Industry Essentials program was launched in 2018 by Finra. And really the goal of the SIE program, is what it's known as today, is to help develop interest and create more opportunities for people coming into the industry. So it used to be where if you wanted to get licensed and do this, you had to take on a full Series 6 or a full Series 7, and you had to be associated with a firm. So you couldn't essentially do it until you were hired, and they opened a U4 window, which would then they basically tell Finra that you're going to take this, but you couldn't take it until you're actually hired. Well, the Finra wanted to make this more available to try to bring more people into the industry, because they were seeing that there was a lot of people that were registering, or a lot of the registered reps were actually aging out. So if you can see this statistic that's on my screen right now, there are around 640,000 licensed reps with Finra that are doing exactly this, buying, selling, trading, working for the firms. And about half of them are 50 years of age or older. So that means about half of the industry is going to be retiring out within the next 10 to 15 years, probably. So that's going to open a lot of space for people to come in. And that is why they created the SIEs, because they needed people. They need students to come in and have an interest in getting licensed, because otherwise they're not going to have as many people to help manage these accounts and work with people moving forward. And so the SIE program was created because you don't have to be associated with a firm. Anybody can take it. The only requirement is that you're 18 years of age or older. You can pick up this course, you can pick up the program and go through it at any point in time. And it'll open more doors with these financial services firms, because if you've already started or even completed an SIE program, it's going to shorten your licensing timeline for them to be able to sell these products, or for you to be able to sell this product once you get hired. And then the more people that show interest in it, the more people that come into these careers, is only going to be better for Finra, because they need people to be able to do this and manage these accounts and help our entire country invest, essentially. And so that is the goal essentially behind the SIE, encourage individuals to come into the industry and show those prospective employers that they have the fundamental concepts. So it's the basic components of the SIE actually made up what was the Series 6 and Series 7, the first few chapters of those courses. And so now once you've completed the SIE, you go on to take your Series 6 or 7, which what they call the top off. So it's the rep level that you would continue and complete once you completed the SIE. So you do need the SIE to even start that process. It's a prerequisite for both of those licenses to go on and get fully licensed and be able to do some of this stuff. So, it's the basics of the fundamentals that you would need, the securities knowledge fundamentals that you'll need to go on and take the Series 6 and 7. It's the basics of that rep level exam. So I'm going to give you just kind of a quick overview of what the SIE program is, if that all makes sense as far as what you need it for to do, both in insurance and in the financial services world. But the course itself is made up of 4 areas: the capital markets, the products and risks of what you would be selling, how you would work with customers, customer accounts, the trading and some of the prohibited activities that you can't do with those customers, and then just an overall view of what the regulatory framework looks like. So who is Finra, who is the SEC, how do they all fit together and work together? It's kind of the basics of the SIE program. There is 11 chapters, I should say, and it is a pretty big time commitment. We recommend about 40 to 50 hours of study at least for the SIE. So you do have to put in some time and effort into these courses. Luckily, it's all online, so you can do it all from your home or work computer. We offer live online classes as well. Every week, we have live online classes where you can work with an instructor. They're 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, and all of them are recorded. So if you could attend a class this Monday, it goes through the first half of the chapters for the SIE, and then the next day would go through the second half. And you could even split it up where you attend a Monday class this week and you attend the Tuesday class next week, vice versa, however it works for your schedule. And so one of the things I do recommend with students is if you're coming into your January J term and you're looking to graduate in the spring and this is something you want to do, it might be something worth considering picking up and doing if you don't have a big J term semester with a bunch of credits or anything else that you're doing. This could be something you could take on and complete within a few weeks and get through it. You don't always even have to take the test right away. You could just get through the material and the coursework. If you do want to take the test, don't worry, because you could take the test and pass, and then the license is still good for 4 years. So even if you take it and you don't get hired until a year from now, the SIE program will still be valid, and your license will still, that course and that completion with the Finra test would still be valid until you actually get hired and then take your Series 6 or 7 top off program. Sorry, I got sidetracked there a little bit. So the on-demand videos, that's another portion. The slides that I have up now are talking a little bit about our program and what we have to offer. Again, the live online classes. We have an online learning portal where you work through the chapters and material. Each chapter has a 15-question quiz. You got to get a 70% on each quiz to pass it and move on to the next one. And then once you've completed all the quizzes, we give you diagnostic tests. They're called the simulated exam, which looks and feels exactly like the Finra exam. And that tells you where you're scoring, where your strengths and weaknesses are. And then we put you into the focused review, which highlights those areas that you need to improve on. And then we put you into a readiness and guarantee exam. It's all different question banks and Q banks to give you a different sense of the material. And the guarantee exam, we only give you 2 attempts because it is a full money back guarantee. If you score an 80 or better on the guarantee exam and fail the Finra exam, we'll give you your money back. We just know that if you're scoring an 80 or better, you're going to pass. You're scoring where you need to be scoring. You're getting the scores that you need to be successful on it. And if you fail, we'll give you a money back guarantee. Now, I always tell students, don't focus on the money back guarantee, because that's not what it's about. Obviously, we want you to pass and you want to pass. So it's really about having that sense of confidence that, yeah, I'm scoring where I need to be scoring. I've gotten to that 80%. I'm ready to go in and pass this the first time. I have that confidence, because we know that that's what successful students need, and that's what we try to provide to them with that guarantee, is that get to this point, score to this point, to where you're going to go in and be successful the first time, so you don't have to retake this thing. But yeah, on-demand videos, online flashcards, the diagnostic testing, instructor support. You can email at any point in time. They'll answer your question within 24 hours. Or if you attend the live online class, you have the availability to interact with the instructor at any point in time, ask questions and interact as you work through the study program with them. So we do offer combo packages as well. So if you know you need the 6 or the 7, if you're going into a certain career, you can purchase the integrated package or just have the SIE program. We have the live online, the video study, and the self-study package as well. A little bit about the exam. So it's 75 multiple choice questions. It's an hour and 45 minutes in length. You do have to register ahead of time. You go through a Prometrics testing site. And so if you're not familiar with where your local Prometrics testing site is, you can just Google it. It'll tell you where the closest one is. They are offering online testing through Prometrics as well. So it's an online proctor. It's kind of weird because they're watching you the whole time while you're taking it, and you have to have a camera on your computer to where they can see, and you have to be in an enclosed room to where they can see that nobody else is in the room with you, that nobody else is helping you with it. But you don't have to leave your house even. I mean, you could do it right from your home or work computer. You can do the whole class, and you can even test. You don't have to leave the house at all. You can stay within the safety of your own home. Given the current climate, it's not a bad opportunity. Yeah, 70% score. Again, it's valid for 4 years. Once you've completed it, you get 4 years to complete the top off program with your Series 6 or your Series 7. Once you've completed it, again, adding this to your resume, it's going to be a great great added bonus that recruiters are going to look at it if they see that you've completed it and you're looking at a career with one of these firms like a Northwestern Mutual or a Wells Fargo or Fidelity, and you can say you've completed your SIE. That shortens their licensing timeline and onboarding timeline to where you can sell their products. So they're going to look at that resume and say, wow, this person's already halfway through the process, or they've at least completed the SIE, so they could start selling products within a shorter time frame. It's going to move your resume to the top of the pile by completing this before you even start to work with them. So connecting with those recruiting firms, one of the things we try to do, and one of the things we're trying to offer and work with you guys as well, is bringing in some of these recruiting firms that are looking to potentially recruit and hire. There's a lot of them out there right now. Shannon and I were talking before this as well, that even given the current climate and the situation in our country as it is, there's a lot of opportunity with these firms because a lot of them are providing virtual opportunities to work and work from home and connect, and people are able to jump into a career like this or start a career like this without a lot of in-person training. There's still people that need support. As I'd mentioned, there's a lot of people retiring out of the industry. So the recruitment rate and the interest around this is strong right now. And there's a lot of opportunity for students that are interested in it. Again, once you've gotten hired on or you're looking to complete that next level, the Series 6 or 7, depending upon what you want to do, that would be the next step in the process, and then get your career off to a great start in the industry, whether it's insurance or more investment focused. Having securities licensing and even the life and health licensing is going to get you to where you need to be. So we do offer some discounted rates right now. We are offering discounted pricing. There's links to this on the Delta Sigma homepage as well. Essentially, if you go to the enrollment page on our website, which is what that link will take you to, it's going to take you to where it would ask you, do you have any special company discounts? And if you put in Delta Sigma Pi at ExamFX.com, you're going to get a 10% off the program course. For the SIE program. I think if there is interest in the life and health side, again, we started the conversation around SIE. I could add that discount on the life and health program as well, if you guys are interested in the insurance licensing portion as well. I just thought of that now as I was thinking of what this discount code would be worth, but we can add those in. But if you have any questions at all, and I'm going to open it up here to question and answers. I'm probably over my time. I'm about at 20 minutes, and I'm pretty good at sticking to my timeline. I'm going to open it up for question and answer. Otherwise, if you're one of those shy people that doesn't want to ask questions in front of people, my email is right there. It's laramie.mcclurg@examfx.com. My direct line is 913-225-5883. No question is too stupid. Trust me. I've been asked a lot of them in my 10-year career, and there's a lot that goes into this when you consider your licensing and what you need to do for these careers. So feel free to reach out to me and use me as a resource. This is my job. I enjoy it. I like helping people get started with their careers and being a resource, and helping people is what we do here at ExamFX. So with that being said, hopefully I can help you some more, and happy to take any questions right now. If you want to open up the mics or chat in any questions, maybe I did a wonderful job and there's no questions out there.
You did a great job, Laramie. Thank you.
Yeah, no
If people
problem.
want to turn on their mics or cameras, you're welcome to, and let's just chat a little bit.
Hi, so I'm a second year student, and do you think it would be worth it for me to take the course to get my SIE this early on, or would you say that I should maybe wait another year or two?
I mean, I'm not going to tell you that you need to have it right now. Obviously, you have some time before you're going to graduate. I would say whatever works for your schedule. If you know you're going to have more time now, if you're going to take an internship next year that's going to require more time, again, this is valid for 4 years. So if you know that you want to go into this and you want to get hired right out of college, hopefully that would happen within that 4 year time frame. But you might know more by your junior or senior year. I don't know that there's any pressing, to get it done this year. But you also know your own personal schedule, right? Like I said, it's about a 40 to 50 hour time commitment to do it. So I always say just whatever works best that that you can outline a study calendar and stick to it. That's what you need to do. Don't try to press it to get it done now because you have some time. Just try to fit it in when you have the time to study is what I would recommend.
Great.
All right, awesome, thank you.
Super. Laramie, we got a question. What college courses might help you prepare for the SIE future licensing exams?
Yeah, so a lot of the finance programs will definitely, if you're a finance major, it's not as much on the accounting side. Just more of the finance courses will definitely help you out. There are certain undergraduate finance courses that will actually uh, incorporate some of these courses within them as well. And I can send you the outline. I mean, we don't make it a secret as far as what our chapters cover and what the course curriculum looks like. And so you might see that there's overlap within some of your finance classes and some of the stuff that they're actually talking about. I know that's why finance majors are recruited a lot by these firms, is because it is a lot of the background of what they make it up. And we even have university partners that will work with us and look at our curriculum as well. So there's a lot that might overlap, specifically in the finance major sector, I'd say more than anything.
Great. And would you say, Laramie, that a background in economics would be helpful? That was a
Yeah,
question. Okay.
yeah, I think both of those. I don't know the specific courses that make up a lot of the. It's been a while since I've been in an undergraduate program. I know it's probably hard to tell by my youthful looks, but I think yeah, finance and economics, depending upon what your focus and major is, but you'll see within the content curriculum that there's overlap there.
Great. What other questions do folks have? Or even if somebody who's further along in their education path right now, if you have any suggestions or advice to these younger students that are joining us today, the sophomores, feel free to offer that up as well to complement Laramie's suggestions.
With the SIE and the course, is it necessary to have already some information on the topics that they cover, or does it kind of start at the beginning and go all the way through?
It starts at the beginning and goes all the way through. Again, the reason that Finra kind of developed the SIE is for anybody to do it. So, you don't have to be a finance major. You don't have to be an economics major to be able to do this and to start it. That's kind of the reason behind why they developed it, is they want it to be a stepping stone and bring more people into these career paths. And I mean, to be honest, I know a lot of financial professionals and financial advisors that are really successful that weren't finance majors. And so, it'll start from square one. It'll give you the material. Yes, is it nice if you are one of those majors, because it'll probably be more familiar to you, but it's not necessary. You can start this from scratch. And it's one of the things why we've been talking to a lot of career changers. So there might be people that have worked in all walks of life that decide they want to go into one of these careers, and so they start with the basics. They start from square one to start this. And our courses and program could go the other way. It could be overlap where it helps you with your career or with your undergraduate and in your finance and economics programs as well. But yeah, I'd say don't be intimidated by starting one of these licensing courses, because they are meant to start from square one.
I've had to take a few continuing educations as part of me getting out of state, like other states' licenses, including like continuing annuity courses trainings.
Yep.
How would those differ from what is on the SIE?
Most of the continuing ed you've done is probably more around the insurance side of things. And so they tend to be a little bit more state specific with, some of the regulations for property and casualty or life and health. And so SIE is definitely a lot more focused on what you need to know for the investment side of things. And a lot of it is the breakdown of understanding the concepts that go into buying, selling, trading stocks and bonds. How does Finra work? How does the SEC work? Who manages the broker dealers? What are the licenses and fines that go into if what can or can't you do with your customers? What are things that you need to stay away from? That's a lot of what makes up the SIE program. So it's not as specific on the insurance side of things, which CE tends to be. But we offer all the CE stuff as well, and specifics around CE that you would need for these. But that's what I would say. The SIE is more of a basic fundamental knowledge of how the markets work and what you need to know as you start to go into these careers where you'll be buying, selling, trading stocks and bonds and that stuff. So I don't know if I'm explaining it very good, but that's
You are.
what the SIE program is.
Okay. Thank you.
I actually have a question. So I, once upon a part of my lifetime many years ago, was Series 6 certified.
Yep.
I went to work for American Century Investments in marketing and was selling 401k products and programs to companies. And while I was not an advisor, was not giving advice in any way, shape, or form, they wanted all of their employees, no matter what areas you were in, to at least complete the Series 6 so that you knew what was going on and have a better understanding of the overall operations and what your coworkers were doing. Do you find that that's still happening with some of the larger firms?
Yeah, for sure. And so like with your firm, like with American Century Investments, one of the things they probably just wanted you to have a basic fundamental concept of how everything worked. And there's a lot of compliance standards there too, right? So they
Sure.
have to adhere to certain compliance standards where it's good for somebody even in a marketing position to know some of what they can and can't do and how the systems work and all of that stuff, because one, you'll be able to see if something comes up that you're not compliant with as a firm, and two, just for general knowledge. And I'll say this, I did our SIE course. I have zero interest in becoming a financial planner or a financial advisor. I did it just for my own personal knowledge because, I do my own investing. I work with a financial advisor and I do some of my own other investing through E-Trade and some things like that. But it's helpful information for anybody to know. I would say that. I mean, knowing the nuts and the bolts of the systems and what is what are puts and calls and what are options, what are some of that stuff, and you might never have to do anything with it, and you might never invest and do stuff with options, but you kind of know, you at least get a sense of what they're talking about when some of that stuff comes up, or if you watch any of the financial, pick one of the financial TV shows that are on all day long, when they start to talk about bull markets and bear markets and puts and calls and options and, all that stuff, you just get a better sense and understanding for what it is and what, if you're doing your own personal investing and you want to know what goes into your 401k plan or what you're doing with your Roth IRA and all of that stuff. You might just be putting money into it every month and have been, which is great, but how do you break it down? Where are the fees going? Who's making money off from each one of your individual transactions? It's stuff that everybody who's investing, I think, should know, or at least have, not that you need to be able to do it yourself, but have a sense of what you're doing when you're investing. So I'd say that. I mean, the SIE is something that I'd recommend everybody does, especially if you're investing on your own.
Excellent. Other questions? You're welcome to put them in the chat or go ahead and pop on the screen and let us know what you'd like to ask. All right. Well, Laramie, I'm feeling like you have done such a good job. Everybody is in a good place and has a lot more information, and they have your info. So certainly as soon as we end this gathering, if they think of something, then I'm sure they'll reach out to you. But
Yeah.
thank you. This has been very helpful, very informative. Certainly happy to have our partners helping educate our members like this. So thank you. And I'm sure there'll be more opportunities with you in the future that some of you all may want to partake in.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you guys for your time. I appreciate it. Again, don't feel free, reach out if you have questions. There's my email and contact information. Feel free to shoot me an email or give me a call if you have specific questions. But glad to provide this information. Hopefully you guys found it beneficial, and looking forward to working with your organization moving forward.
Great.